What's up guys, thanks for stopping by, I hope you're doing good. For today's video we're going to be showing some full games with commentary. I hope you find this useful, let's jump into it. So before we jump into the games today, I just want to briefly explain the concept behind this video. The idea is that whilst playing on stream, it's very difficult to go into great detail about every last thing I do and explain why I'm doing it. But by recording a video with this in mind, I can go through every last tiny detail about my gameplay to give you guys as much info and as much insight into what I'm doing as possible in such a way that is hopefully useful for new players and experienced players alike. It's really easy for a YouTuber to make themselves look really good by recording 20 games and just editing together the best moments from each one. But then when you try and replicate that in your games, it seems very unrealistic. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to play PUBG for 1 hour straight and record the whole thing, and I'm not going to edit any of the gameplay at all. I'm going to leave it completely untouched, and whatever happens, happens. And the whole time, I'm going to try my best to explain absolutely everything I'm doing in the moment. And for the times where there's too much going on and I won't be able to keep up the commentary, I will overdub commentary after the fact in post-production. And then if there's anything particularly special or interesting that happens in the match that can really be a useful teaching moment, I'll go into the replay and we'll do commentary and analysis for that as well. Hopefully this is more useful to players because it's a more realistic scenario. It's not just a highlight reel or some kind of abstract tip that might sound really useful but you don't really get to see it in practice. This is going to be super long form content, but also super detailed. I'm going to try and keep these intros short. I hope you enjoy it. Let's jump into it. For this first episode, we're going to be focusing on how to be a more consistent player, mechanically speaking, which generally just means how to increase your ADR while still being aggressive. So we're going to be looking for kills, but we're not going to completely YOLO and get ourselves killed. But we're also not going to play for the win. This is just about how to become a consistent player. If you guys like this video and you end up making more, then the plan will be to alternate between a few different play styles each episode. All right, enough explanation. Let's go. Okay, so we got a Sandhawk. First thing I'm going to do is to mark the flight path. This is slightly less important on Sandhawk because we're not going to be doing really long vehicle rotations. But at the same time, on all maps, generally there is still more players close to the flight path. Usually you would say within 1500 meters, and that's why this line is actually less helpful on Sandhawk, because that pretty much takes you anywhere on this map, it only being a 4x4. But still, we're marking that just because it's still likely that the ones closest to flight path has the most people. So, when it comes to having the most kills on a Sandhawk game, there's two approaches. One is the hot drop, and two is more of a medium drop and just to play edge. I'm going to go for a hot drop. Let's go to Charlie. I want to jump within 1,000 meters of the compound I want to land at. And I want to dive down, pressing shift. When on the minimap, I can see that I'm 100 meters away. The big squares on the big map are 1,000 meters, and the little squares on the minimap are 100 meters. I like to dive down slightly before. This place that we're dropping here has high ground, and it's at one side of the compound. So that means that it's a good place to drop because we're mostly only fighting people to one side here. Now, as you can see, we actually didn't get any people. So that means we're not going to be getting some kills here in this hot drop. So right now, right away, I am basically looking for AR DMR. It's always the most effective loadout. But just to start with, just pick up whatever gun you find, maybe even whatever 2 guns you find. One thing I was going to mention as well. So I'm putting the holo on the QBZ. Because the QBZ has a really weird iron sight that actually obscures the view. One thing that I was going to mention anyway is that you'll notice that sometimes I F-loot and sometimes I don't F-loot. The reason I'm F-looting is because, first of all, if there's just a lone item, then there's less chance of picking up the wrong item on the floor. And generally, it is always better to loot in the inventory. But it's not like... We're going to take the spike trap. I'll explain that in a second. But it's not like there's zero use for F-looting, okay? Looting with your inventory is always better. That is true. But there is a use to F-looting, and I'm going to explain why. If somebody it's possible someone is close by, which in PUBG, it's kind of always possible someone is close by. It's good to not deny your line of sight with the inventory or with the map. That's why I always have both things open as little as possible at all times. So, particularly when there's a solo item like that, where you're not going to have a problem by picking up the wrong item, I'm running up to it. I'm going to show you on this item. And I'm crouching. Because look, if I crouch, I can pick it up. But if I'm stood up, I can't. The other way is to look down, right? So what I'm doing here is I'm just quickly crouching and pressing F so that I can still look ahead of me. This is just, like I said, to always maintain line of sight and keep aware of your surroundings. It's actually a really awesome thing to get in the habit of doing, because you can still do it quickly and you're not denying yourself line of sight. So the reason I picked up the spike trap is that we might, because we're going for a lot of kills, we're not worried about being discovered by other players. We might want to go for a loot truck. Oh, that's a bot. Remember, we did hear people over here earlier. That actually, I don't think was a bot. So it looked like he was going to go for the jet ski there. Remember, we did hear fighting over here before, and we did see parachutes, so it made sense. But most likely, when you hear a single fire M16 like that, it's a bot. We're not chasing this because we're running into the open for basically no reason. So one thing that I will always say is one of the keys to getting better at this game is just to get faster at everything. Okay? And I will say that right now, I'm being a little slow because I'm trying to explain everything. But just bear in mind that there's a reason for that, and that's just because I'm trying to help you guys out. But it's generally always better to go as fast as you can. Hopefully, I get better at making these videos so I can actually be faster when I'm doing this stuff. So the reason, though, that I haven't left yet is because I really want full level 2. We're going to take this K9 here. So I am only really taking this K9 just because we don't have a ranged gun. But this is a good time to mention that when it comes to inventory management and weapon choice, basically a huge portion of always having a good inventory, we're definitely taking this. And I'm not taking this QBU, and I'll explain why. Like, having more than one ammo type in the inventory can be an absolute nightmare to manage all your stuff in your inventory and select the right scope and, you know, find where your throwables are. You know, when it gets to the point when you have to scroll, it's really bad, right? So one of the ways to deal with that is to just have one ammo type. It's not super important, but a lot of really good players try and stick to one ammo type just for the cleaner inventory mainly. This is especially effective when you're actually all 5.5 because 5.5s are much lighter than 7.62. So you can actually then end up carrying more nades and mollies and utility and stuff. So we're left where we dropped. I'm fairly confident there isn't anyone around this area. So I'm not being too cautious here. And we do want to start getting some kills. So what I was saying anyway on the drop, when it comes to weapon choice, I basically, ideally, am after AR DMR. But AR Bolty is the next best thing, for sure. And we found a barrel first, and the barrel is so good. So then, once I've got a barrel, I'm going to try and stick to 7.62. So that's why we got the Bolty. So now, all I'm doing is waiting on audio information to figure out who I'm going to push next. This has actually been looted. So we've already got some information there. It's not audio information, but it's information. Now, I just want to quickly explain that what's about to happen is most likely, you see how the flight path where most people are going to be is close to the edge of the circle anyway. Most likely when this circle changes, even more people are going to be forced onto the southeast edge that will have to move. So we're sticking around the flight path just to find people. But on Sandhawk, other than just pushing any shot you hear, which could be dangerous, the next best thing is to play the edge and wait for people to come in. Now I want to explain by what I mean by getting more kills for the purpose of these episodes that are more focused on chasing kills. I'm going to start heading towards those shots now. Because the point isn't to full YOLO, it's just to more consistently start getting more kills. That's all. Some people find it fun to just always be getting more kills. Oh, so now we're probably dead, honestly. We got caught in the open by a guy with a SKS. Our most important thing right now is to try and not be one-shot to this guy. 7.62 DMRs are a huge problem being one-shot. Right now, we're one-shot headshot. Once his bandage has gone off and we get a boost, yeah, he's going to be instantly flanking to get a good angle on me. He's probably going to nade now, but I still don't want to be one-shot headshot. Alright, he's just chilling. So right now, I'm actually not going to peek as long as he's just chilling. And I'm just going to throw this nade. I'm not necessarily expecting this to hit, right? All I'm expecting is to stop him from pushing me. Now he's moved to the right. I can take a shot. Now I know he's really low. Just one more shot for the Bolty. There we go. So as soon as this guy caught me in the open, that's a big problem. You want to get to cover. And particularly with a 7.62 DMR, we're just going to take this guy's weapon and his first aids and a little bit more ammo. We don't want to spend too much time looting. We already have decent enough loot, right? We've got the essentials. And everyone else nearby, which on the Sandhook is going to be a lot of people because it's a close quarters map, heard that. So to avoid being killed by looting, I'm going to insta move. So anyway, particularly when you get shot and someone's playing a 7.62 DMR, they're so high damage that basically if you've taken a shot, you're going to be one-shot headshot. So you want to get back up to above 75 HP ideally before you re-peak a 7.62 DMR, or any DMR for that matter really, but particularly 7.62s. So when we took that shot, I knew he was going to push close or nade. Only one or the other, because that's the right thing to do in that scenario. But it was worth the risk to try and heal. And then we prevented him from moving closer by throwing some utility. Doesn't matter if it wasn't perfect. I actually think it was an okay nade. We can check that in the replay. But the point there was to stop him from pushing me and to stop him from nading me. Alright, so because I'm going over this ridge, I want to have my red dot on. I want to always be ready whenever I go over any ridge. This is a horrible area though with a lot of long range fights. So therefore, also good to have the 3x1 should cross the ridge. Now we heard shots over here before. What you don't want to do is get too tunnel visioned on finding someone you heard. So now we don't see anyone. I'm not going to waste time keeping looking. Like I said, to get more kills on Sandhook, it's always good to push when you hear gunshots. Well, the next best thing is edge. And the zone's in now. It's going to be pushing more people up. So because that way is horrible, super open, this whole area is. I don't even like where I'm here now. I just feel safe going back this way because we were just here, right? So we know that it's less likely there's someone here. Nothing is 100%. There could be. It's just less likely. So I'm going back around this way because I would actually rather fight around this part of the map than up on that hill. Okay, well we did just hear another shot though, so I'm going back. We're going for kills here, okay? And that was a single shot, which could be a misclick or a bot. But there was no kill. So it means there's a potential ongoing fight we can third party. So that's why I'm going back. $21 alive, so there's going to be a quiet phase. Okay, someone died near that compound. 2 guys died. So now I don't know which one I want to go for. We want to just hope. We're just hoping here we'll get line of sight. Quickly checking the map because you can see it's 50 seconds left above the minimap in the bottom right. And on Sandhook, you've got to always keep moving. I highly recommend to always be moving. Never stay still. Just keep moving around. Keep going around the circle. And when the circle pops, just run to the zone. Particularly on Sandhook. The circles are faster. It's a smaller map. The edges are going to be busier. So I just saw a death grate in the middle of this compound. So it is possible some of the shots we heard are from around here. At the very least, we know someone was here. So there are still people leaving Painan. We're getting quite close to the edge here. But what we got to bear in mind is the edge of the circle that we need to come in at. So this is not a good part of the circle. Like just to run over this middle compound here. That's going to suck. And we're also basically going to be forced to overpeak a lot of these people from Painan. But They're being pushed by the blue. So I want to take a look. And if we don't see an easy fight we can take, we're not going to go and get ourselves in more trouble just to find a fight. They're not there, and it's not simple. We're not really pushing it. We're just trying to get more consistent kills. So again, it's better for us to be in here sooner rather than later. There's a guy on the drop here. So I only look this way because of the drop. Yeah, he actually knows I'm here, so that's not good for us. Okay, now he's changing to his DMR or his bolty. So we don't know what he has yet. And we're dead. So that was weird, because it looked like he was going to change to his bolty or DMR, which would have made sense, because he just got a great gun. And it's most likely would be a nade, which is what he has that we can see. But he was actually changed to a nade. But the nade didn't kill him. And I didn't die because he flushed me out either. I died there because of the screen shaking effect. Yeah, look at all these people. So we had a good read on the game. That's a GG's. But yeah. That's just the reality of the screen shaking effect of the nades. It's nades, I don't know. They're not as good as they used to be. But yeah, the screen shaking effect's just OP. So we're gonna queue for another game. So that last game, it was only a couple of kills, but it's okay. The point in this series isn't to just cherry pick amazing games we have. The point is to show how to be more consistent, whether you're trying to just survive and win, if you're trying to get a lot of kills, or if you're really trying to push yourself to improve, or if you're trying to rank up in ranked. This is all the stuff I want to cover in this series. So the point is to be realistic, and even a good player that is capable of really consistently getting a lot of kills is going to die a lot. And everybody dies in PUBG. But you got to think about it like this. High kill players have a good ADR, right? And for sort of people that play this game on a regular basis, if you have 250 ADR or more, then you're probably pretty decent. Because at the end of the day, it's rare these days that people are really grinding their ADR. So that is just an average of just more than 2 kills. So if you get 2 kills, it's not a high amount of kills, but it's not going to completely trash your ADR like a 0 kill game will. So now we got Miramar. We're marking the flight path again. And the twist with Miramar, really, is that there's shit loot. So I'm much more like to hot drop just to get better loot. So as I'm hot dropping here, I am going to try and look around a little bit to see if I spot any players when we're parachuting. But I might do it a bit less because I am most concerned with doing a good drop here. So I'm only really checking once the parachute is open, because I want to really focus. So it's just a quick check there, just to really make sure I get a good shoot, because I want to land on this swimming pool. I saw the AK from the sky, so that's when I felt confident. Got the level 3 vest, so now because I got a good gun, even though I don't have a helmet, I got a good gun and a good vest. So it makes me confident. So I'm quickly peeking that side to see if there's anyone in there. Now I'm checking the corridor. That nade confirms that there's multiple people upstairs. I'm checking the window to see if there's anyone outside there. And I'm not running in here because it's possible someone is in the garage. So heard this guy. And we pre-fire a little bit. And honestly, if it was a little better, I'd be dead because of that shotgun. So now I'm pre-firing this room. I'm really being cautious here in case anyone is actually holding the stairwell. It's really likely in this room, which is why I wanted to check it. And frankly, if I didn't have a level 3 vest, I'd be dead there. If you had a better gun, I'd be dead there. Wasn't a perfect clear. But at the end of the day, if someone's going to rat in the corner, they're probably not going to be that good. So it's not like this is a terrible idea. Because if it was a good player, he'd already be holding the stairs, you see. And then we most likely wouldn't have even pushed. So now, I'm trying to instantly peek this corridor. I'm trying not to just cross an open path where someone might be. I'm trying not to do that without peeking. I'm trying to start peeking before I even look down there. So I'm instantly ready to fight. I'm slowing down a little bit here because I hear this shotgun fight and I don't want to push too close to a shotgun. And these nades and these meds are going to be actually useful. So now I've got some nades. I'm trying to figure out where I can throw one to get involved in this fight. And turns out actually that this nade was actually really close to a guy. I checked the replay. So I had a good read on that. But I don't see him, so I'm going to be peeking the villa here. We see someone over peeking here. And I just missed a lot there. And this guy made the right decision not to keep doing that. It was really bad by him to see a newer player. But that's okay. Like, he did some bad peeks, but if he can't peek well, it's better for him to not peek, right? So nothing wrong with really what this guy's doing. So now I'm really just listening for audio information. I hear some audio information below. And now I'm already thinking, see what happened here, right? Is I was thinking if I can get above, I might be able to get some kind of weird angle on him. And so what happened at this point, I'm actually just going to pause it quickly here before I die. What happened there was I had an idea for a play where I was going to go on the roof so I could get an unusual angle, which is when someone has a really high damage weapon, a high time to kill weapon, or a one-shot damage weapon, one way of dealing with it can be to try and find an unusual angle, like somewhere up high, climbing on a box, climbing on a roof. So it was a good idea, but where I messed up here was because I fell off, I misjudged the jump. I then was just like, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to try and move closer. This is something that I mess up all the time. It's like when plan A doesn't work, sometimes I don't think plan B through well enough. But based on the audio information here, I knew that it was going to be a serious problem. Then I was definitely dead because I knew this guy had a shotgun. We heard that earlier. And if he just decides to hold this stairwell, I'm definitely just dead. I knew that. But based on the audio, I thought he was either further back, which is less likely that I die to a one-shot kill because they have a level 3 vest and full health. So if he was in the back room where we killed the guy earlier, then I could have just peeked this wall here and had a decent enough peek to kill a shotgun player. But based on the audio information, I thought he was further away from the stairs, and turns out he was actually right on there. So that turns out was a really bad push and a really bad play by me. But I made that decision to do that based on audio information that I misinterpreted. So it's still my fault, but the key point here is don't overcommit to a play based on audio information alone. I should have been more cautious. I could have even retried plan A and gone back upstairs by going around the side of the pool or something. Or I could have even just left and fought somebody else. But I knew this wouldn't work if this guy was standing here. It's just based on the audio. I thought it was somewhere else. But the lesson here is it doesn't matter how many hours you have in PUBG, the more experience you gain in the game, the more you just learn to not rely on it. Because very often it sounds wrong and is wrong. Oh, of course he's stuck with this shotgun. Well, that was bad. Really by me to push this guy, but there's always a chance that he dropped the shotgun if he's actually decent. And I didn't think he was actually holding the top of that stairwell there. It sounded like he was already moved further in. So I could have got a better peek with the AK. But again, you know, 2 kills, 200 damage each time. It's not the worst. It's not great, but it's not the worst. It's not a lot of kills. But the point is that we're going to be taking a lot of fights. You're not going to get a lot of kills if you're not taking a lot of fights. Okay. So when it comes to Karakin, honestly, every city is so close quarters that it's kind of hard to have a good strategy for. And because of the really small size, they're very unpredictable. So even if I'm going for a lot of kills on this map, I basically always like to drop here. I call it Jamila because that's the sign. That's what the sign says on these buildings. So we're going to drop Jamila. And we're going to focus on killing who drops with us first. Always prioritizing that armor. So when it comes to this map, I recommend dropping a roughly half of a big grid square before the area you want to get to. And then obviously still dive in around 100 meters. It's good to start diving before 100 meters because you have inertia, right? You're going to be moving a little bit. All right, I can't see anyone. This wasn't the perfect scout by me. I was talking not the perfect drop either. There's going to be some mistakes when I'm talking this much, but it didn't look like we were contested anyway. But we are prioritizing just getting armor and some kind of gun. I'm taking this AK because it's an AR. Every single AR is more consistent than any SMG. So I'll always take an AR over an SMG these days. The game is stuttering, which might mean there's a lot of people close. So now we're full level 2. At this point in the match, when it's this early, I am willing to go and start peeking and looking for people in the same compound as me before I have a full heal. We're going to pop this. We're going to peek below here to the left so we don't get sandwiched. And then we're going to check down here. It might be looted, might not. I don't see meds or ammo, which are normally the big telltales if something's looted. We're checking this real quick. I'm going to take the K9 over the M24 because when it comes to trying to increase your kill count, it does do more damage. You know, both are a one-shot headshot, so when it comes to just how good it is as a bolty. Oh, we hear someone coming from the right side. I'm not peeking that because he hears me too. See, that's bad because we have to left peek. Oh, we hit this guy. So I'm going to be aggressive. Okay, so I do actually want to go over this fight on Karakin real quick. So after I killed this bot, I could hear the footsteps to my left. So we knew there was a guy coming. As soon as I start holding him in here, I'm trying to get a good peek. So at this moment here where I'm about to peek, I know it's going to be a left peek. So the problem is, whenever you left peek, you show more of your body. I'm going to demonstrate that right now. I'm going to put this in slow motion and just show what a left peek looks like. So we can actually quite clearly see here. If you look where this dot is, like, look, I'm pointing at my head. You can see like most of my body. So just immediately because I'm left peeking, I'm thinking I need to only quick peek. Just peek, take a shot, peek, take a shot. I don't want to be over peeking a left peek at all because you show more of your body. So that is immediately what I'm thinking about. Now, when you actually move back to like where the player was looking, you can see there is a little bit of grass and a slight hill. So it's not the worst case scenario for a left peek, but left peeking is always dangerous. So this is immediately on my mind. So now, if I actually go back to me and I rewind just a little bit, I'm going to play this in slow motion. Let's just go to just after the kill. So right now, I can hear clearly that someone is on my left. So right here where my mouse cursor is. So a quick peek in. See, look, I peeked once and that was it. Then I'm going to do it again because he's not there yet. And then as soon as I hear that he's close to the edge, I'm going to start trying to shoot. So I start shooting almost right away. Remember, this is at 25% speed. First shot misses. Second shot, third shot, a few misses there. But I actually hit a really good headshot. And as soon as I see this blood splatter, I know because I hit him and he's also moving to the right. This means he's going to go and take cover and try and heal. So now I'm instantly thinking, I don't care if he re-peeks. I don't want to be right peeking. I have the upper hand. I'm not going to throw this situation by doing a left peek. I don't want a left peek. I want a right peek. Most likely he has to heal. So I'm going to try and reposition. Now, he does re-peek, but I'm not too worried by this point. I know that I hit some really good shots on him. I didn't realize it was a headshot at the time, but by the amount of blood, I knew it was a good shot. So I'm instantly trying to get a better position because I don't want a left peek because this guy should be an easy kill if I just push in now. So we risk the cross there and we push more towards him. Now I'm going to take this time to reload. I hear that he's moving. Now I definitely know he's going to try and heal. So as I go around, I'm sort of quick peeking this side to see if he's going to be peeking there. I actually shot once there. Because I'm just pre-firing, assuming he's going to re-peek that side. If he's going to be the type of person that just re-peeks instead of healing. He probably is healing, but there's always a chance when they know you're in the open that they're going to re-peek. So now, I immediately go down behind this ridge. Now, the point in this scenario is it doesn't matter that this is an easy kill. You always want to be trying to shoot from cover. So I'm going behind the ridge so I can use this ridge as cover. That is what's happening right here. So I know where he is. I know he's either this side of the wall or the other side of the wall. I don't know his exact location, but I'm trying to only peek from cover. So now I'm going to this little dip to peek from here. I'm going to go back to my perspective. So we see I'm coming up to this ridge, right? You see where my cursor is? I know he's going to just be above where my cursor is right now. But I'm trying to keep most of my body behind. So I'm running up to take a look. I see him. And as soon as I spotted him, I start to shoot because I'm essentially pre-firing here. Just, you know, this is weird because I'm just shooting the ground. But I'm instantly just already shooting just in case, you know, if this big mound wasn't here, this could have been a shot. You never know, right? But it's just a habit to get in, just instantly shooting. So I crouched. I'm not going to over peek. The first peek was just to see where he was. Then I'm going back into cover, and now I know where he was. It's unlikely he moved very far, so I'm going to immediately peek and try and snap on where I previously saw him and just start shooting his previous location, which is going to be around here, before I'm even peeking him. So I'm pre-firing, you see? I shot a few shots which weren't quite there. It was on his previous location. But this idea is just to pre-fire, so you're going to do as much damage as possible in as short a peek as possible. Yeah, so there was a player down there, which is good to know. I'm going to just stick with playing all sevens. So when we pushed this guy, we took the low ground, so we had cover from the ridge, so that we're never over peeking him. Barrel, I'm taking that. The jammer is actually useful on this map. You can always flank people in the late game when they're not expecting it. The problem now is, though, we don't have a full heal. Bingo. So before I move from where I dropped in any match, I want at least one full heal. So that means one first aid and either 2 energies or 1 painkiller or 1 adrenaline. The reason I want 2 energies is because when I say 1 full heal, I mean 1 full heal that can happen quickly. And using 1 energy, if you're 75% health, it takes a long time to get a good amount of health from. So I always think of it, even though it's not technically true, but I always think of 1 painkiller being twice as effective because you can carry half as much. And 1 first aid, 1 painkiller, full health. Or, like I said, 2 energies. Right, so we hear these shots over here. So we're going to go and peek that. Alright, so we see those muzzle flashes on the compound, so we know what's going on. I'm probably just going to try and approach this compound from the hill. Which isn't going to help us if he's going to stay in that same building. But if he's going to move between buildings, we might get an ankle on him from the hill. Again, I'm always just listening out for shots. Figuring out which is the best one to push. But you got to pick one. We hear a lot right now, right? But you got to pick one. Alright, so we see this guy going up on here. Doesn't look like he's got a helmet. Probably sees us. So now I'm kind of hoping he actually peeks us. Because he didn't have a helmet. It looks like... Oh, he is peeking. He has a bolty. That actually could be a problem for us. I'm going to go to the compound, see what that guy's doing. He's leaving on the other side. This guy's also trying to take shots at us. I'm going to try and lead my shot a tiny bit there because it's not that far away. Right, I hit this guy really good on this rock. So we're going to push that guy. That looked like a chest shot with a bolty. Which means he has really low health right now. So he must have healed with a first aid. So again, he's really low health. He should be 1 shot. So he's probably going to stop and heal. But unless he has a med kit. He can't heal to full health. He sees us pushing. He might try and run away. Nope, he's going to peek. I'm volleying the left side of the rock because that's where he saw him. I missed a bit. I'm not over peeking him. Right, now it's been third partied by this other guy. That really looked like a hit there to me. He shouldn't be able to see me here, though. It was probably because of his jacket. I hear him pushing. Okay, well, I actually shot him really good there. And he's only 1 HP. That was really weird of him to push on that side because it's a really easy peek for me, but GG, he did actually get me. And that's a typical Karakin match. The thing with Karakin, even more so than Sandhawk, you should always be moving. You should always be being quick. And I'm a little slow right now because I'm trying to record this video and give as much commentary as possible. But I might want to start, you know, talking a bit less if it's going to help me play better and just overdub some of the commentary, I guess. We'll see how it goes. It's a new idea, this video series, so I hope you guys will like it. But it's a work in progress. So when it comes to this last fight, you know, we really just needed to get a kill there, and you get third partied in this scenario. But we didn't really, we handled it good because the thing is, when it comes to just re-peeking and sort of YOLOing it, just to beat this, you know, they wouldn't necessarily expect you to re-peek, right? So you could say that you could catch him off guard by re-peeking, but he had a barrel, so it wouldn't have mattered. Okay, so we're marking the flight path. So this is really where marking the flight path is super important because, you know, 1,500 meters away from the flight path is a lot more specific, right? On Erenkel, there's a lot more other places people could be. So this information is going to be more important. We're going to drop Pachinki because we're looking for kills. And Pachinki is actually really good for getting kills compared to other hot drops. Because of all the different blocks, like it'd be Stacks, Pizza, Midtown, Snakes. These are some of the calls. We'll cover that in a different video, I guess. But because it's not just one blob of buildings, it's a good hot drop because you can kind of approach it as separate compound fights. So there's a lot of people coming, right? But not many with us. The game is stuttering a bit because there's so many people, but it sounded like someone dropped Mansion, even though I didn't quite see him. And I might instantly peek him because we got a gun quickly. Yeah, he has nothing. So we knew this guy had a slightly later parachute than me because we heard him land immediately after me. And then I instantly found a gun. So I pushed him instantaneously because I knew most likely I was going to have a gun and a loaded gun faster than he did. And also, our gun was an AK, which is a super effective gun at all times during a PUBG match. And most likely, if someone has a gun early, it's not necessarily going to be a good gun, right? So the decision to push here is entirely just based on Speed. We got a good gun. Now we have fucking fully equipped barrel. That's insane. And how late he was. So now we're going to loot a bit more. We actually got the most epic loot in the game. SLR barrel. And full level 2. And now we've almost got a full heal. We even got a scope on the SLR. It's insane loot right now. This is the advantage the hot drop in is the loot. I'm always taking any utility. And already, because we have a scope, we might want to consider peeking the midtown. But the one thing I am looking for is one more energy or a painkiller. So I have a full heal. So that if I get in another fight, I can get back to full health. And if they're not really close, I might be able to get back to full health before they even get close to me. So there's a chance someone's midtown there, so I don't quite want to vault that close. I'll go to the left side a little bit. So you hear people fighting in midtown, like to the south. Alright, now we've got a full heal. Now we want to start peeking. And we've got an extended mag. Right now we have everything we need. So now I'm checking for information. Trying to see if anyone has looted this area. Maybe not. Gonna break this window. See if anyone peeks. I'm putting my gun away so I can move faster around the houses. Speed is so important. And I'm also doing it so I can punch windows out. But I'm never standing still because I know it's a hot drop. There's lots of people. Now I'm going to be looking for a way to cross over to where people actually are. Now we kind of have two options. Pizza. Does that look clear? Or Big Blue? I'm going Big Blue. I was peeking. I'm going to alt look a bit to check the balconies. Right. I just caught a glimpse of an open door on this garage, so people definitely dropped here now. So that increases the likelihood they're still here now. But we just found this flare gun, so no one dropped here, which means they've not moved either. They didn't move this way at all, or they're only moving very slowly. So odds are they moved on to a different part of the city. I'm still checking for loot a little bit. On a hot drop, if they're going to let us loot, I'm going to loot. But this guy is either being slow or he moved somewhere else altogether. Because he could be up there, I'm going to leave on the first floor. Now I'm listening. And now I'm happy with my loot. I'm going to start hunting. So key part of hunting people down in cities is audio information. I'm actually going to avoid going inside so I don't die to a camper. I'm going to move fast. I'm going to open doors so we have a quick escape if we want to go back. And to bait someone to move if they are camping. Alright, so we hear sounds like they're all across. Now I found this painkiller, I feel very confident they're all across. Oh, definitely. Right, so we're going to peek quickly from here. If they hear me, this is very predictable. So peek from houses is really predictable in general. So if they're not peeking me yet, I'm not going to break a window right now because I know they're there. And we're going to get... Oh, he's on the roof. He's dead. See, if we just vaulted out a window or something, he would have easily killed us. We heard that those shots was close, so it was likely he could hear us there. So I didn't want to vault. I didn't want to do anything that was going to prevent me from shooting. Sometimes crossing where there's people is okay, because it can bait them to peek. Now I'm going to go to the roof. The easiest way to get on the roof is from here. It's possible we killed the last guy in this block, because we heard a lot of shooting. But after he killed that last guy, he went looking for us, right? And he knew I was in a different block. So he at least thought there was no one else here. And he seemed like a decent player, so he's probably right. So now, I'm just thinking about East Town over here and Pizza over here. Pizza is not very looted. I only see one house. I'm not going to stay up here forever. Still want to keep moving. Don't see any signs of life anywhere. Could be clear right now. And we do need to leave. And I'm checking snakes. There's a dead guy there. So there's a lot of dead people. Possible everyone's dead. So now I'm going to go back to snakes. It's okay to make noise now. There's not as many people, right? I want to know if there's a vehicle in the garage, because we're not in a circle and we need to leave. I still want to hear, because there was a lot of people. I'm not going to vault again. I'm not moving in a straight line. The movement could be an audio cue to get killed in the open. So I'm going left and right. And moving my mouse a little bit, because that moves your player's head as well. No car in the garage. Now we want to be aware of church. Sometimes people drop somewhere else and then push towards Pachinki. Before we go over there, I'm just going to instantly full boost for this adrenaline, because we're in the blue and I don't want to take blue damage. This can be the issue with a really busy hot drop when it's not in a circle. So it's this big emergency for us to get a car. And right now, we don't want to be thinking about fights. But it's possible there are players out here that are more willing to play the blue than we are. And that's what we got to be concerned about. Bingo. We got a fast car. Generally, we're getting a lot of kills. The faster the car, the better. So this is awesome for us right now. So now, we're going to just head towards the zone. I got a gas can just in case we ran out of fuel. You don't have to get a gas can, but if you want a high kill game, a huge part of it is the vehicle meta on the big maps. And you may run out of gas, actually, if you're really chasing people down. So I know the gas can's a bit of a meme, but when it comes to playing this game effectively, it can obviously be a huge benefit. So now, we have the upper hand to anyone in the blue. We know, right, it's likely there's still people at school and apps. So I don't want to drive past there. But the only reason I'm not driving past there is because we're in the blue. So we're not full health. So it's possible that just one bolty shot instantly knocks us out of the car, kills us. Or, you know, a nice SLR headshot. So that's why I'm actually avoiding where I know there's people. And now I'm figuring out now I'm in whether I want to boost or not. Yeah, I should have boosted. So because of the damage this guy did, okay, we might be dead here. Alright, he probably didn't come here, this guy from the hill. Because this guy did so much damage. I'm abandoning this fight. And because I'm only half boosted, I'm using a med kit to get to full health quickly. Now, we saw a car here, so there could be a guy over here. That's why I went silent. We also know there's a guy on this hill. If I don't see him peeking, I'm going to try and hunt him down. Hopefully, he's not waiting for me to get in a car. Okay, you see, you getting in a car could always be a cue to another player to kill you. If he's just aiming where your head's going to be. Alright, we see him ADSing on this hill now. I'm going to drive by. Okay, bingo. Right, we've made a lot of noise here. I've got a decent amount of bullets. Good scope, decent health, decent meds. It's not like loot isn't useful. Well, we made a lot of noise. Another guy. Oh my god. This guy is about to die. He is so low. That is crazy that he didn't kill himself there. So this guy heard the fighting. What you got to bear in mind, even when you're trying to be aggressive, right, get a lot of kills, you got to bear in mind that there's other players on the map that might be doing the same thing. So if you make a lot of noise, you want to get out there as fast as possible. Right, I want to be fully boosted here because I want as much health as possible. So here, there's still people around. And I want to try and smoke this guy. So you might have noticed when I missed the drive-by, I'd used a full mag on my gun, right? So in order to change to the SLR to retry the drive-by, I swapped the weapon slot so that it would replace the gun in my hand, and I dragged the red dot onto the SLR because doing close range drive-bys with a scope is really hard. Now I hear people on the left. Right, that's not who we heard. He was the guy that we heard driving past earlier. We might want to loot this guy because my helmet is about to break and I don't think I headshot him. So because he died in cover, yeah, so now we got a fresh helmet look. And I'm going to take all this utility because this is all good stuff. I'm going to take this comp as well. And we don't want to stick around for very long. Right. Now my car is at low health. And we want to keep a car to get a lot of kills. So we want to consider that. But some of these shots sounded like they could have been in the open. See, we saw something move. I didn't quite catch a full glimpse of it, but in the middle of this field, I saw something move. So it's either someone without a car or with a car or what. I think it was a car. So the zone has shifted. We do want to bear that in mind. And we do have this flare gun. Having a really good crate weapon and full level 3 could be clutch. But this bolty was close. I'm going to see if he's actually on this tower or if he's in the field in front of it. Alright. Could have just been in Yasnaya. Okay, so we can't find this guy, right? It's always best to not overcommit to finding a guy. If you can't find him, just find someone you can find. Right, now we have confirmation. That bolty is definitely in Yasnaya, so it's not worth us hunting for that guy. He's actually very accurate, and honestly, this guy is kind of sus. Because he just hit very close to my head. But we're just going to keep speed up. When using vehicles, which... Oh, person. Okay, that guy. I highly recommend if you want to get a lot of kills on this map to really start using drive-bys. Oh my god, I might be dead here. I'm dead. Alright, that's just luck, guys. If this guy was good, I was dead. Yeah, now I'm definitely dead. I need to just... The only priority right now is getting more health. Right, we're in this smoke. So I'm going to loot this because we want health as soon as possible. And this smoke is fading now, so I might be dead again. I'm dropping this because we really need utility. Right, I picked up the wrong thing, but I'm not sticking it in that crowd there, in that cloud of smoke. Wasn't perfect looting, but we know we're being looked at. We don't want to get trapped in the blue. There might be an opportunity to get some kills, right? But we don't want to overcommit. So that has to be from here, chat. Alright, we didn't actually kill him yet. Alright, I can't see. Alright, now I see Deacon. Okay, I don't know what this guy's deal is, but his peaks and stuff are weird. I honestly don't understand the way he's taking this fight. It's so weird how cautious he is, and it's causing me to be going really slow. And now because I have less than 75% health, I'm less inclined to want to fight him. He's playing very strange. He seems to hit his shots, but his strategies and his peaks are really bad. Like, he has bad game sense. So it's really hard to read. Like, if he was trying to kill me, every time he went around that house to try and find me, he essentially went the wrong way. So the situation is just a mess. And I just want to get in. And we do have couple of issues here. So I want to loot this guy. Someone else killed him. But first, I want to check if his friend's going to peek. Doesn't seem like it. Okay, well. There's no sevens. What, right now? Because my vest is lower than 50% health, it means that we have to really get the first shots on the next guy we fight. Or we want to get a better vest. And right now what I'm thinking is I still have that flare. Alright, there's a guy in the open here. It's a real player because you can tell he was reacting to me. He's going to crouch and lean, try and spray. Seat swap. Alright, dead. That's exactly what we need to happen right now. So now I'm smoking this guy. I'm putting 2 smokes down. One at either side, kind of. So you should get a bit of a wall going. Because the circle is small. There's going to be people close. He did have 7. So that's really good. But he doesn't have a vest. That's fine. The circle is still very much open, so I'm sticking with this car. Okay, so we should be a bit concerned about the vest, but because everything else is good for us right now, I'm not going to slow down to try and get a vest. Because it's an open circle, I'm much more confident driving around. And I'm sticking to the drivable parts of the map. Which means like grassy parts of hills, so not rocky parts. Now, most likely, we can move around faster than the majority of players. And the smaller the circle gets, the more likely it's going to be. There we go. The players are on the edge. Alright, so we got one there. He's in the blue and he's... Yeah. Basically, he's already in the blue and it's late game, so we're not going to loot that guy. But it would be nice to try and loot someone for a better vest. I'm trying my hardest to go as fast as I can here, although it's difficult when you're going uphill. And I'm just sweeping the edge of the circle, sweeping the edge of the circle. Alright, that was... I fucked up a bit there, not fully paying full attention to where the zone was. So that's my bad, that's unintentional. And I'm kind of avoiding drive-by these compounds because it's on a hill. I'm not going to be going fast. The key to surviving these seat swaps and stuff his speed, really. So right, it's the car here, so that means someone probably ran out of his vehicle there. I'm taking a bit of blue damage. Someone's ahead of us here somewhere. Okay, that's really bad for us right now. Are you kidding me? Well, that's a GG's. I didn't see this guy till the last minute because of his ghillie. And we just missed with the seat swap there. And it wouldn't have taken a lot to kill us because it actually wasn't that bad that we ended up going in the blue. That actually didn't do that much damage. But because he has full level 3, like, look, his vest is like, it's only just hanging on now. Like, this guy won't win this game, most likely because of that vest. But our vest was quite low, so it wouldn't have taken many shots. So I really had to hit those shots, and I had to time the drive-by right. And because of his ghillie, I didn't see him until the last minute. So that's a little bit of a mistake on my part. I needed to start shooting him sooner. But I just couldn't spot him. And that's going to happen from time to time, especially if someone's playing a ghillie. So there's two things there. You know, if I had a full health vest, I might have been okay. But the main thing was I seat swapped and started shooting way too late because I didn't spot the ghillie until the last minute. Okay, still though, the point was to try and get a decent amount of kills and increase your ADR. So these are the matches that we played. 2-kill game with 200 damage, 2-kill game with 200 damage, 2-kill game 398 damage, and 1 9-kill game with 883 damage. So for 4 matches in a row within an hour space of time, that would definitely be increasing your ADR to a decent ADR. Alright guys, that's just about going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments if you liked this video. If you guys are into it, I'm down to make some more. Also, if you have any suggestions for things that you want me to talk about in future episodes, or if you would like me to explain something you feel I didn't explain in enough detail in this video in the next one, then also let me know about that in the comments. Subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell, leave a like and a comment for the YouTube algorithm, that really helps. Until next time, have a good one.